Hello, welcome to my channel. Today I will be reviewing Two Can Keep a Secret by Karen McManus. This book comes out in January 2019. I have an arc. I decided to read it because One of Us is Lying was pretty successful and people really liked it. I DNF'd One of Us is Lying because it just didn't seem interesting and gripping, and I think I DNF'd it after chapter number 3. This one I decided to stick with because the setting is a New England town. It has a lot of mysteries, a lot of dark secrets, and it's up to the twins Ezra and Ellery to kind of discover and find out what was going on in this town. So they are sent to live in Echo Ridge with their grandma after their failed actress of a mother is sent to rehab after she had a stint with consuming too many antidepressants and painkillers, and the state basically said that she has to go to rehab. So what happens is that Ellery and Ezra's aunt Sarah disappeared years ago. Her body was never found, and no one knows what happens to her. About a decade later, the prom queen, a very popular, pretty nice girl, going to Echo Ridge High, disappears, and her body is discovered later at the amusement park in the town. So when Ezra and Ellery come into town, they're very curious, and of course, the first chapter, boom, there's a murder, there's a hit and run, a teacher of the Echo Ridge High School is found dead, and they are to be given a statement. From that moment onward, things kind of snowball and escalate, and it seems like the same person who was in Echo Ridge and possibly killed Sarah, possibly killed the prom queen from years ago, is back, and they want to kill again. My problem with this novel was that it was anemic. I expected so much more, or at least the standards were set really high in the beginning. So Ezra is a really laid-back, kind of happy-go-lucky guy. His twin Ellery is a true crime addict. She's really trying to understand what happened to her family. She's trying to understand why her mom never talks about her twin sister, why the grandma is so hush-hush about it, why they never seem to tackle the subject whatsoever. Ellery thinks there's something dark going on beneath the surface, and because she is a self-proclaimed sleuth, and apparently she turns out to be a very bad detective, but that's beside the line. So basically she just decides to kind of uncover the mysteries of Echo Ridge and her family, and she keeps sprouting these theories, and she tries to solve the mystery, and she fails time after time. Her theories fail time after time. I don't even see the point of her sprouting out these theories on us, the readers, because she's so bad at it that it's embarrassing at some point, and she won't stop. She's just like, I have a theory, I'm gonna call the detective I know and I'm gonna share my theory with him, or wait brother, listen to my theory, or wait boyfriend in waiting, I'm gonna lay down my theory on you. And I'm like, you learn time after time that you just don't understand crime solving at all. Why won't you just give up, or at least keep it to yourself? But she doesn't. And that's my problem with Ellery. I found her to be super irritating. She was just useless to the plot. I did not like her whatsoever. She seemed kind of silly, this wannabe girl who's, I don't even know what her personality is. She's just argumentative and stubborn, and she jumps to conclusions really quickly. And yeah, I mean, if you like that kind of person, then maybe this book will be for you. I personally did not like her. She was too spazzy and too irritating, and she seemed to have, she lacked introspection. She had zero abilities to take a step back, take a deep breath, and survey the surface. It seems like her brother was way more capable of that, or basically any other teenager around her seemed to be more capable of that, but whatever. So as it turns out, the motives for the killings and the killer were just falling short on my expectations. I found the whole thing very anemic. I wanted there to be more of a story behind the killer's actions. I wanted to know what prompted them to kill. And when we finally find out, it's just very generic. It's so predictable that it pained me to find out that that was the real reason why they did what they did years ago. And I was just expecting so much more, especially from someone like that, someone who's, quite smart and capable, and it was quite disappointing. I mean, I do know that writing detective novels for teenagers is a hard kind of thing to master and a hard thing to tackle, because teenagers are very vulnerable and you have to be very careful about self-expression and, you know, triggers, because a lot of things can be triggers, a lot of things can be very upsetting. You never know what the audience, you know, what the readers that are reading your book went through, what they can find very unsettling, what they can find, you know, upsetting. So I do get it, but at the same time, the writing at some point was very lazy. I don't know if Karen McManus just used Ellery to throw us off the trail. Maybe she just made up these like crazy theories because she wanted us to agree with Ellery, and then like boom, something entirely different happens, or someone has a motive and you're like, well, that goes out the window. But at the same time, it was irritating because after a while it gets really old and you kind of figure out, well, even though Ellery claims to read all these true crime books and watch all these documentaries, it seems like she learned nothing from any of her readings. And maybe that's the point of the story, to kind of tell you that, yeah, you can be obsessed about a topic and you can devote your entire lifetime to something, and then when you finally are faced with this conundrum, you have absolutely zero idea as to what to do, and you should leave the crime solving to professionals, which is kind of like what it turns out. So Ellery doesn't really solve the crime. Eventually it's the police who solve everything, and it's the police who kind of rescue her. Maybe that's the point of the story, like, don't be a hero, don't think you can do something. Maybe Karen McManus did it because she did not want to create this Nancy Drew kind of detective who saves the day with her wit, even though she's an inexperienced teenager. If that is the case, then I have way more respect for Karen McManus as a writer, because I really hate it when inept teenagers prove to be super adept and kind of like master spies, super detectives. I don't like it when that happens because it's just so unreal. I don't know if that was the point that Karen McManus was trying to bring across. Maybe she was just doing it for the purpose of the plot, to keep the plot moving and to keep us guessing. Whatever it was, I gave this book 3 out of 5, not because it was badly written, but because the world building was kind of weak. There was no dark secrets, to be honest. I feel like I was kind of lied to in terms of that. Like, only one person had a dark secret. Everyone else was just average, normal, ordinary folk who were going about their day. It felt anemic, it felt kind of lazy, it felt like an attempt to write a nice little thriller for teenagers, but it's not even all that scary. I mean, I remember reading like the babysitter by R.L. Stine, and I was more afraid than this Echo Ridge prom queen killer. I mean, I don't know, maybe because I was younger. I feel like if you didn't read a lot of mysteries or detective novels, and this is one of the first ones you're gonna read, you might actually enjoy it, because there's every chapter, maybe it will be turned into a TV show, but every chapter ends with a cliffhanger. Every chapter kind of keeps you guessing. You do want to know who the killer is, and you do want to know what their motive is. But when you find out, you don't feel satisfied. You don't feel as if anything great was achieved by figuring out who the killer was. It just feels, I don't know. It did not satisfy me. I was not properly scared, as scared as I wanted to be. I do have to give it some discount because it is a YA novel, and I mean, you can only write so much creepy details in a YA novel. So if you're looking for something more intense, probably like pick up a proper mystery thriller written for adults. This one was nice, 3 out of 5, decent writing, flat characters, weak world building. But if you like mysteries and if all you care about is kind of figuring out who the killer is, pick this one up. Pretty cool cover. Like I said, it's gonna keep you guessing until the very end, and I was surprised to find out who the killer was. But like I said, I did expect there to be more motive or more backstory to what they were doing, but unfortunately so much spotlight was given to potential romantic relationships and potential love interests that was kind of unnecessary in my opinion. Some diversity, The main character is half Hispanic, some Korean supporting characters, not with a huge role, but it does have the diversity, which is really nice. Like I said, a nice read, a fast read, not my top reads of 2018. So yeah, Two Can Keep a Secret, Karen McManus, January 2019. If you read her other stuff and you want to leave a comment if you agree or disagree, or if you already read this one as an arc, feel free to comment below. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.